Hello, hello, testing. 1, 2. Test, test. The microphone. Chair stinks. Smells like old mothballs. Test, test. Sounds good. Excuse me. This will be a labor of love. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Take that, North Peters. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Markus Show. Thank you for being here. Let's get this thing going. This is a public service announcement presented by Professor Markus.
Let loose the Markus!
Yes, sir.
Yeah! What's up, nerd? You know, no, the disrespect side is the palm.
2,
If someone slaps you with their palm, you better beat the shit out of them.
booster ignition, lift off.
Greetings. I am Markus.
Bowles has the first name, it's K-E-N-N-Y.
I'll try to fix it while I'm talking, but it's still not working. I tried to get that. You know, I go in with such an open mind.
The streamer.
You know, you let me open this just to piss me off, didn't you?
That y'all want.
You know what that's what gets me every time with this. I can't do what these assholes do. I can't think that old people in the past were stupid.
The bald man. That you all need.
Ooh, let's go. Come on. No! Sarah! Why?
You see, for Markus, it's not a title that I take lightly.
Right? Like, everybody, you know, it seems like, hey, look, Markus is a curmudgeon. That's bullshit. I'm not a curmudgeon.
Don't you ever forget that you're not here on earth. You have a purpose, and therefore, you were on purpose.
That's a lot of twos, baby. That's a lot of twos.
We're definitely ready today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fireside Chats with Markus. Careful, a little toasty over there. This is gonna be the new way of the show, right? We're gonna have these pre-planned ideas that are executed on a level. I'm not gonna say a high level, because that would be setting us up all for lies. But one thing I can tell you is there's some words that need to be expressed, my friends, and I couldn't think of a better way to do them than here with you by the fire. So I'd like to welcome you all to episode 1 of Fireside Chats with Markus. Thanks for being here. 1 second. You guys hear that bustling fire? Want me? Careful, Scarlett, don't get burnt. Too close to the fire. Wow. Well, now I can't. All right, sometimes you just gotta get it out, you know? You just gotta let loose the beast. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being pissed when things are going wrong. And trust me, friends, we will be talking about family one of these fucking days. But until that time comes, bear with me because I am fixing things. Right. Calm, cool, collected, and killing. I mean, the favorite K's of my life, right? No, I'm actually a big supporter of life. I love life. The grand majority of things are supposed to be alive. I don't even have music on this team. Woo! Why not? Turn you down. Turn you up. For a balance. What's up, Sorry? Her booty is fire resistant. She can't help it. It's all about those angles, those perspectives. Can you guys hear the fire? It's not like my fire has a volume knob or anything. Alright. Hear the music. You know, Merc, you definitely have identified one of my biggest problems with the world. Okay. And that's things that don't make sense, not working right. Or things that should work right, not working right. Okay? I think we might have it. Damn it, I put pants on for this. Yeah, I got the nice shirt on. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Anyway, welcome to the very first episode of Fireside Chats with Markus. I don't know if that's what the name's actually going to be, but one thing that I do know is that it's going to be quality, right? You guys know that I got a speech to speak. I have words to word. I have things that I feel the world will do better if they are said. And ultimately, I couldn't think of a more intimate place than this. The world may feel like it's burning, but this booty is cool. There's a lot of good things in this world right now, in spite of what the news, the internet, and everyone you know might be saying. Yes, there is an abundance of problems, but we don't focus on those problems. And today, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what exactly was I supposed to talk about today. What was the topic at hand? What should the first episode of what I feel is one of the most important things I'm ever going to do, what should that first episode be about? Well, ironically enough, the decision was kind of made for me. I had a wonderful reminder of the importance of family and what it means to be part of a family. Because I think there's a lot of people in this world that have given up too much of that definition. And because of that, they've lost the benefits that come from truly having a family that loves, supports, and cares about you. So the very first thing I ask when I start this conversation, what does family mean to you? What's your definition of family? Do you know it? Do you have a definition? If you had to write it down, could you? Because if you can't, that's step one, baby. There's no way that you can harness the power of something so powerful as family if you hadn't first identified what family means to you. To some people, it means blood. I came out of a person, and therefore that is family, absolute. There's nothing they can or can't do that will change that fact. I disagree. There's some definitions of family that involve interaction, how much you see each other, how much you know each other, how much you do. And it's this balancing scale of you do this for me, I do this for you. We're going to do it for our whole lives. And that's family. It's an exchange of goods and services amongst similar-minded individuals. I disagree with that one too. For other people, family can be nothing. They've lived their whole lives with the sensation of being alone and not doing it with the family at all. So they've never even felt or tried to understand what family means. If anything, it's almost been a taboo. It's been a negative thing that they've ignored. And that's definitely wrong. When I think about family, I think about the traits of the individuals that are participating in that family. When I think of family, I think about the sacrifices that individuals make for each other in spite of the zero possibility of any type of gain. When I think about family, I see happiness. I see support and encouragement. I see a universal connection that, in spite of all bad things, cannot be severed. when I see family, I see easy. Now, there's a lot of people out there when you say easy, what do you mean easy? Some of the hardest conversations and things I've ever done have been with my family. Well, and I look at you and I challenge you real quick. Who else besides your family have you put yourself in such a vulnerable position that you could be hurt the way that family hurts you? There's a reason that some of the most charged and emotional and hardest things we will ever do is have conflict with the people that we consider our family. And the reason that is because we care about them the most. A lot of times, if there's no sexual energy, we think of relationships as very different. The relationship to my wife is different than the relationship to my loved ones. And I would say that's not as different as you think. There's only one very, very, very strict line you never cross. But outside of that, what is a relationship? It's something that needs to be nurtured. It's something that needs to be understood so that it can be cared for. Now, before I get too far ahead, I want to take a sec back. Because the very first thing I asked you about, I asked you to define what family meant for you. And some people say having my back when I need it. Support, even if they think my ideas are dumb. And family has nothing to do with blood. Now, I could say I've known some smart people. And people who consider that family, they're pretty smart. But it's easy to say the words. I want to start with a story and explain to you why I feel family transcends these stupid things, we'll call them in life. And we'll define those stupid things as petty, shallow, and unimportant. So when I say a family member, and I'll start to break it down into an actual family, right? So you have your mom and dad, you have sisters and brothers, and then you have your extended family, right? Your cousins, your nephews, your aunts, your uncles, grandmas and grandpas. Now, depending on where you come from, depending on your life, you may have a huge family, such as myself. You may have a very small family, such as I know a lot of you do. But the coolest thing is, it's not about the size, the shape, the dynamics. It's about what it gives you, and not in the shallow sense. Sorry, I just had a good memory, and I'm gonna get back there, but I want to set this up right. Remember, it's the first show, y'all. Okay, the fire's hot. I'm sweating. Give me a second. I want to go back to the definition of family, right? So now that we have your definition of family locked in, now we start to apply those logics to the people in our lives and start actually seeing, do I have healthy family or not? Shit, I'm not going down. Make notes. All of these points I want to talk about. I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm nervous. I'm not nervous. When was the last time? Okay, focus, Markus. Hey, we're getting there. Sorry, y'all. This is new. I get excited. For those of you who are from the old show, this is what we're cutting away. Right? We're trimming the fat so we can stay on topic. Because ultimately, this is something I really care about. Let me rewind. Let me rewind. When I very first started this show, I told you I spent a lot of time thinking about what I was going to talk about for the very first episode. I wanted it to be something that mattered to me more than anything else. And as much as I can talk about mental health, right, or personal improvement, self-acclamation, all that good stuff, the number one thing that kept coming back, because it's been sitting on my mind a lot very recently, is how different my life would be if I had any other family on this world than what I have. A little backstory on Markus is I've had a little bit of a story. And by little bit, I mean, it's been an adventure. From drugs to women to colossal careers to essentially without my family being destitute and homeless.
I've ran the gambit of life, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. And no matter if I moved away, joined the military, turned into a crazy partier, the one consistent thing that has been in my life, and has always been in my life, is my family. My little sister, my older sister, my mom, and my dad. I have been blessed to have a family that loves me more than I could ever love myself. So as I was sitting there thinking, and family kept coming back over and over, I just looked at myself and I said, Self, what are you doing? The most important thing to you in the world is screaming at you to talk about it. And that is my family. And we aren't the, what are they called? The Robertsons? Okay? We ain't the Cosbys. We are a bunch of A-type, strong, independent women. Okay? And I was raised by those strong, independent women. And the number one thing that made our family strong, whether we were thriving or surviving, was we never once gave up on each other. It doesn't matter if we had orange hair because we were going through a what are they called? Going through a whatever you do when you grow up. I wore khakis and button-ups. That was my phase. Thank you. Or if you became estranged because one individual moved away. It didn't matter if it was minutes or months. The moment it mattered, our family always came together. And that is what gets me into the definition of family. Just because somebody holds the title of a sister, of a brother, of a father, of a mother, those titles are earned. They are not given. You are not born into fatherhood. You earn the right to be called a father. You earn the right to be called a brother. And you have to continue to earn that. Now, the best part about family is typically with family, you get more slack than anybody else will ever give you. Hello, Exner, you beautiful human being. Story, little sister, everyone else, thank you for being here. Now, but just because you get more patience with family doesn't mean that you don't have to continue to earn the title. Because I can tell you right now, it's not blood that makes you family. It's how you interact with the people, how you treat them, how you support them, and how they support you. Family is this living organism of love. And it sounds pretty hokey, but if you really think about it, a family household is only as strong as its weakest member. If a chain has a broken link, it's only going to be able to support so much weight before it's no longer doing its job. And that's staying together. Going back to earning the title, I unfortunately have the privilege of being a talker. I truly enjoy hearing about people's lives and how they live them. And one thing that I tend to ask people a lot about is their families. Because I genuinely want to know how one of the most significant parts of their lives is. Because as a person who is extremely blessed with a wonderful family, when the other side of the spectrum happens, it's honestly an extreme curiosity for me, my friends. So when I was growing up, I had a lot of friends who had divorced parents. And unfortunately, it was pretty common. Most of the time,
now that I think about it, the majority of the time, all of my friends' parents were divorced, and I tended to be the one that parents were not. And it's interesting that it's awkward to say, because I know how much pain that caused them. Because I always talk to them about it. I was the friend that you called at 11 o'clock at night because your parents were yelling at each other and you just wanted something else to talk about. I love that role. And the number one thread that I could say went through every single one of these people's lives. If their family wasn't good, they tended not to be either. There was a piece missing. And now looking back on it, I think the number one piece that was missing is the support. I can't think of anything better or anything more on the nose that family gives you than support. They pick you up when you fall. They comfort you when you land. They allow you to be weak. They allow you to hurt. Because one thing I can tell you is the older you get, the less okay it is to hurt. You have responsibilities. You have important things. You have your family of your own that you need to think about. Oh. So as I learned through a lot of my friends' pain, the importance of family, it was pretty fun. When I was younger, I put a lot of emphasis on our family name. It was like a mantra for Markus. We had it on hoodies. We truly loved our name, and we still do. It was a point of pride. Not a point of ego, it was a point of pride. The family name, the Markus family, we'll call it. That is strength. That is fuel. Family pride, used appropriately, will make you more successful than you could ever imagine. And let me explain why. Let me explain what family pride is. Hello, Fletcher, welcome. Family pride is not thinking you're better than other people. Family pride is knowing that regardless of the circumstances, your family will be fine, and therefore you will be fine. There is strength in the foundation of that love. And later on, we're going to talk about the different types of family you can have. But for right now, I want to talk about the family you do have. Okay? And what it means to have it. Because what it means to have it is, like I said, family pride. It is your name and living up to the standard of that name. It's not sacrificing something for a shortcut. If you have pride, that means you have something to lose. And if you have something to lose, it means you have something to work for. And having something to work for and something to care about will fuel you more than you've ever been fueled before. If you have a child to support, you guys know, I know a lot of you have kids out there. If you have a kid to support, nothing else matters except for that child. Sure, there's other things in the background, but that is your responsibility. You want to raise that kid right. You want them to think right. And the best way for you to do that is to have pride in yourself. Do not lower your standards. Do not allow your family name to be tarnished because you decided a shortcut was worth it. You decided that it's okay this time. You allowed your family name to be lowered. Now that's not an easy life to live. It's not an easy life to live, to have standards. There's conflict in that. But if you have the pride of your family name behind you, during those struggles, during those times of questioning the path, you will find the success of that path. Or you will find the strength during those struggles because you have already set the bar to your family's name. That pride makes you care. So I hear a lot of you. I hear you. Marcus, I don't have any family. Me and my family are estranged. We don't talk, we don't see each other. I haven't seen him in years. Haven't talked to him in years. The only family I have is myself. Look at me. That's not true. I really hate to break it to you, but you're wrong. The likelihood of you being alone and being here are basically zero. Because anybody who likes what I say isn't a piece of shit. You're not a piece of shit. There is somebody who loves you more than you will ever understand. The hardest thing to do is you have to open your heart to it. You have to open your eyes to it. You have to be willing to be vulnerable. Because what did we talk about before? What is family? Family is sacrifice. Family is pain. You can be your most vulnerable with the people you love the most. There is peace to that. Crying alone blows. Being alone blows. Even if you have one individual that you can confide in, that makes you feel safe, that is family. It's easy to think that the blood, growing up together, being around each other often is what makes it family. That's the convenient family. That's the people who are there because proximity helps. I don't say any of that to diminish the bloodline aspect. The biggest problem with the aspect of the definitions of family. Extra 2. That's amazing. The extra 2 got me. All right, sorry. So the definitions of family, okay? Let's get them real basic. Blood and not blood. Honestly, it seems like it's more complicated, but it's not. I do believe in the genetic aspect of family. I think familiarity goes beyond being in the same place. I do think the genetic connection is something that we don't quite understand yet. There very much seems to be an energy thread that runs through individuals based off of their bloodline. Now that is about as far as I give bloodline the title of family. As much as I do believe there is some sort of ethereal connection because of our genetics, that's about it. Essentially what that ethereal connection gives us as blood family is, I think it's just a little easier to do it with blood. For some reason, we have an infinite amount of patience for our parents and for the parents to the kids. Even if it's completely toxic, most people will stay in those toxic family relationships. I don't know if it's a societal obligation, a lack of better options, or simply they just refuse to choose a happier life. There is something about that blood connection, that bloodline, that keeps us interacting with the family that does not deserve the title. So blood is one way. The second way to have a family, I feel is a little more realistic. I think is the proper way. Because as much as I was blessed to have a blood family, you better believe if that blood ever became tarnished, that's not what's keeping us together. And luckily I've never had to do that. But what I have had to do, happily have had to do, is I've had to bring people into my family. Actually, our whole life, we've been pretty good about bringing people into our family. We always seem to have an extra room. I don't know how. It could be because I lived in the garage. But there always seemed to be an extra room available. It wasn't easier for us. Trust me. But those people needed a family. And that is what gets me into what family actually is. We've talked about how you define it. We've talked about how other people may define it. Now it's time for me to define it. Family is one of the most powerful fuel sources on the planet. I can't think of anything else in this world that will make you sacrifice more for less. I have never seen human feats as big as they have been for people who are doing things to either save or help the people they love the most. You will have men running to burning buildings for their dogs. You will have mothers face down, like gangs of men all alone just to save their baby. You will watch families show up, just in an army of families show up because there was a house fire or a heartbreak or something. You may have a young Markus who just made a really bad decision when he was young, and then all of a sudden the hospital's full of family. Showing up and sacrificing is what makes you family. Finding the love when all you feel is hate is family. Family's uncomfortable. And the reason it's uncomfortable is because you're typically doing a bunch of shit you don't want to be doing. But you happily do it. Because they're worth it. And I think that worth it is the biggest point, isn't it? The pain is worth it. The sacrifice is worth it. The love is worth it. My family is worth it. And that is why the family will always survive. The biggest issue that's happening right now is I think a lot of the definition of what family means has turned into an expectation. It's turned into a set of rules that people are supposed to follow instead of a set of standards that people are supposed to reach. When your family is struggling, the rest of your shit stops mattering. When the people you love the most are hurting, you find a way to help to the best of your ability. That is what I am blessed with. And the reason why I feel I deserve it is because even if they're not doing what you want them to do, you know in your heart that they're doing the best they can. You forgive them for their shortcomings. In other words, you don't be pissed at them. You understand where they're coming from. And that's my family, man. It is amazing how no matter what is going on, when push comes to shove, we're here. When it just, and no matter what is going on, we show up. I don't want to get, I kind of went a place there for a second. Because as some of you know, it's been quite a journey we have gone through these last couple of years. And because of the love of my family, I've been able to survive these 2 years. And I would say the scale's been sliding in one direction for a little too long. And no matter how close your family is, people get tired. And when people get tired, sometimes it's hard to remember those really good things. Boy howdy, there's a lot of good things. And I think that's why I really think this is why this conversation had to happen. Because it was a little bit of a wake up for Mark. There's a reason family has just been sitting on my soul really heavy. Because when you're in a good family, you ultimately don't want to hurt them. And if you feel like you are, it's really easy to want to protect them from you. Protect them from yourself. And that's not what you're supposed to do with family. Family protects each other. You don't protect yourself or them from you. That's when you've lost what it means to be a unit. That's when the sacrifice is gone now. Instead of leaning on the people who will support you the strongest, you push them away. And you start to subscribe to a reality that just isn't true. And no matter how much, it sucks because it seems like no matter how much you know what you're supposed to do, you don't always do what you're supposed to do. It's interesting because I kind of got lost in a memory there for a second. One of my best friends in the world, he never had a dad. Ever. His whole life. Up until his way late adulthood. He never even met him. And the interesting part to me, when I was thinking about there, was he also never talked about him either. All throughout growing up, me and my friend were basically brothers. You know? He was an only child to a single mom. And I was Marcus. And trust me, if somebody's lonely, Marcus gonna find him. Loneliness attracts loneliness. Right? And I wasn't about to let anybody feel alone. Not if I had anything to do with it. So, he was one of those people that became part of our family. We opened our lives to him because he needed it so bad. He was a great dude, still is, became extremely successful. But the inherent loneliness from not having what he felt was a family, I could tell it weighed on him. I could tell that it made him be not as good as he could. And in spite of him succeeding, in spite of him pushing through it all, he was home when he was with us. And there's a reason people came over to our house a lot. All of my family can attest to it. We were the home that people came to because they were family to us. There wasn't any stipulations. There wasn't any catches. You just were loved. Regardless of everything else, you were loved. And I think one of the biggest pieces is we talked about understanding your definition. We talked about what it should be like to be with a family. We talked about kind of the most important definition of family. It's that sacrifice. It's that going above. A little extra. And I think with all that information, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? How do you improve your life by everything that was just consumed right now? Well, the first thing and the most important thing is I think you need to realize what type of family you are in. Good, bad, or in the middle. You need to be able to look to yourself, look to your family, and know what it is. I mean, that's the very first step. If you got to write it down. Mom, does this for me. Dad does this for me. You need to define what it means for you to be loved. You need to define what it means for you to be supported. Because without a definition or an understanding of family, you will never get it. You will never truly be able to harness the power that family gives you. And after you define it, you have to get it. You have to elevate the people around you by first elevating yourself. You do the actions of the world that you want to be a part of. That is step 1.5, because it's just as important. You need to be the person that deserves a family. And then after you defined what it means, became what you want, you demand it from the people who want to be considered part of your family. You don't demand it maliciously. You just don't lower your standards. You know what love and loving is. And you deserve it because you put the effort into defining it and figuring it out. And then after you define it and you demand it, you have to support it and encourage it and love it and water it and grow it. Because this is not an overnight thing. This does not just happen because you watched a Markus video. Well, the world's burning. This change happens because you work at it. It's hard, but it's one of the best things that will ever happen to you. If you're starting at 0, that is fine. If you truly feel you're alone, you're all right. You are one conversation away from finding somebody who might be the most important person in your life. And the only way to guarantee that that won't happen is if you refuse to have the conversations. You need to open your life to be loved, even if you're scared that you're going to be hurt again. There's nothing worse than having to repeat trauma. But the only thing worth it is family. It's true. And I want to leave you with this. It's really easy just to watch these videos. It's really easy to want these things. It's really easy to do nothing. Are any of those things worth it? Or are they simply easy? Do not aim to live an easy life. Aim to live a fulfilled life. And understand that part of fulfillment is that it might be a little hard. But life gets a lot less hard if you got family. So take account of who your family is and go tell them you love them. I want to thank you guys for being here. And I'll see you. Oh, my head got cut off. Damn it, I'm trying to do something. Okay, what's up, ball?
Now's the time to say goodbye. It's short, so don't worry. M-A-R-K-U-S, the chicken army. Even with the world distressed, the truth is what you need. M-A-R-K-U-S, the chicken army. He's Marquez, but you're the best. Forever we will hold our standards high. Before we have to say goodbye, I want you all to see M-A-R.
You all have greatness within you.
K-U-S.
How do I know? Because I'm Markus.
You're my family.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Mwah.